Hiccup is the son of the chief of Berk, a village of strong Vikings, but no one took him serious because of his stature. The night before he shot down a night fury, the most dangerous and feared dragon of all, but as usual no one believed him. So he set out to find the location of the dragon all by himself, and while he was moping about how unfortunate he was, he found something that would change his life forever. A track made by the fall of the dragon. And as he went on to check it out, he found the dragon tied to the rope of his creation. Happy that this would change his entire life and win the heart of his father, he bragged while stepping on the dragon, and that's when it made a sound, and Hiccup pulled out his knife, threatening the dragon that he was going to cut out its heart and show it to his father. But unfortunately, as he raised his hands up, he felt pity for the dragon. He wasn't a dragon killer. As he was about to leave, he decided to let loose of the dragon, and when the dragon noticed the ropes being loose, its eye constricted as its plan had worked on the human, and upon release he jumped over Hiccup with an angry and mean face. While the boy was drenched in fear, it looked him straight into the eye, roared at him and flew away. Hiccup froze in fear. Looking at the dragon flying away, he noticed that it couldn't fly well, and as he was about to leave, his muscles weakened and he fainted out of fear. The next day, he went back into the woods to check if the dragon was still around, and when he got to a quiet cave, he saw the scales of the dragon, but the dragon was nowhere to be found. And in that minute, boom, it flew out from nowhere, trying its best to climb and fly away, but it couldn't fly. It was sad, lonely and frustrated. Hiccup went closer to take a look, and while the dragon came closer he made a sketch of it, since no one had a record of what it looked like. And while he wondered why the dragon couldn't fly away, he noticed it had lost one of its tail wing, which made it impossible for the dragon to lift itself and fly. Hiccup felt pity yet again for the dragon, and mistakenly he left loose of his pen, which attracted the attention of the dragon. It saw him up in the rocks, and they both stared at each other. The next day, the cave was quiet. Hiccup came with a fish for the dragon and a shield to protect himself, just in case. He threw the fish out to attract the dragon, but it didn't come out, so he decided to go pick it up again, but his shield got stuck between two rocks, so he went through under the shield. As he was walking through the quiet and lonely cave with the fish on his hands, the dragon was nowhere to be seen, unknown to him that it was watching from the top of the rock, and when the dragon saw him, it slowly climbed down from the rock, looking straight into Hiccup's eyes. Hiccup was scared as he looked back at the dragon, but it was interested in the food he brought. While it came closer to take the fish, he discovered a knife on Hiccup's body. And after Hiccup threw the knife into the water, the dragon displayed a friendly face. Hiccup stretched out his hand to offer the fish to the dragon while the dragon came closer, but at the moment it opened its mouth, there was no teeth. Hiccup was shocked, but in that instant sharp tooth popped out and it grabbed the fish. After swallowing the fish whole, it vomited a chunk of it on Hiccup's body. While they stared at each other, it persuaded Hiccup to take a bite of the fish. At first he hesitated to swallow it, but then he did. And this started a friendship between the two. And as Hiccup stretched out its hands to touch the dragon, it flew away from that position, and as it laid down, a bird flew out from its nest, making the dragon more sad about its current condition of not being able to fly. In that same minute Hiccup came closer, and yet it avoided him. It was now in the evening. The dragon noticed the boy was still around. Meanwhile, Hiccup was making a sketch of the dragon. When the dragon saw this, it ran off and brought its own stick, and it began to draw. Hiccup was amazed by what he saw, and as he was walking through the drawing, he stepped on the line, which made the dragon angry. Finally, he stopped. And while he was walking through the drawing and dodging the lines at the same time, it led him right to the front of the dragon, and then he tried the second time to touch the dragon. After a short time of uncertainty and fear, the dragon let him touch the head. Immediately the dragon flew away again. This marked the beginning of a solid friendship. At night, the boy Hiccup set out to create an artificial tail wing to enable the dragon to be able to fly again. It was now another day. He went back to the cave where the dragon was, and he brought a basket of fish with him this time. The dragon went ahead to sniff them, and all of a sudden it got furious. The reason was because it saw an eel, which dragons despise, but Hiccup took care of the matter by throwing the eel away. And while the dragon was eating the fish, Hiccup was trying to attach the artificial tail wing to its body, but it wouldn't keep the tail at a place, and finally he attached it, and by then the dragon was done eating. When it felt the presence of a tail, it immediately started flying away while poor Hiccup was still holding the tail. He held tight as the dragon flew, navigating the artificial tail wing. But when the dragon saw it was able to fly again, it thought it would be able to fly without the help of Hiccup, so he flipped his tail, which disposed Hiccup into the water, and while it tried to escape, the artificial tail wing closed, making it to fall into the water as well. So when he got home, he went back to work, modifying the tail wing in a better way, in order to be able to navigate the tail while at the back of the dragon. The next day he went back to the cave, but the dragon was running and unwilling for the next test. But later, Hiccup is seen riding the dragon again. But in short period of flight he fell off the dragon and they both fell. This was because there was nothing to keep him attached to the back of the dragon, so he made more modifications for it. The next day it worked and they're flying. But suddenly they crash-landed into a grass field, and when Hiccup came out to check on the dragon, he discovered that the dragon kept rolling around. It loved the grass. And now Hiccup knows another trick about dragons. As time moved, every day, he kept making modifications, but it wasn't still good enough. So at night he brought the dragon into the village, they passed the first guard, and sneaked quietly into their workshop. While inside the workshop they made a noise which attracted his female crush, a girl called Astrid. She was suspicious but couldn't figure or find out what Hiccup was hiding, and they managed to escape. The next day, they boy and the dragon went for another test flight. Probably the last, and something unexpected happened. Everything was going fine until they bumped into two separate rocks by mistake. The dragon was angry at him for not being able to control efficiently, but that was not the most dangerous thing that happened. It's when they decided to fly higher. As they kept going high, the wind became more strong and the paper which was meant to be his guide for riding the dragon slipped off, and the boy would attempt to reach and catch the paper. He hooked off from the dragon and both of them started falling from the sky. He tried to catch up with the wings of the dragon but it kept him spinning. And even while falling he tried more attempts to reach the dragon while telling it what to do, but instead he got hit by the tail of the dragon. When he got more closer to the dragon, he made more attempts to reach the handle and finally he got hold of it, and while they almost hit the ground, he did his best to control the dragon. As both of them strained due to the force of the wind, he finally controlled the dragon. But now they are faced with a bunch of giant rocks ahead, and while he was trying to read through the command paper, the wind obstructed, so he disposed of it. And in a heroic way he controlled and navigated the dragon through the rocks, like an expert, dodging each rock one by one and carefully, till they finally got out of the rocks. He celebrated while the dragon spits out fire ahead of them.